All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. Thursday, March 2nd, 2023. Hold on one second. There we go. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. I had a pretty good day. It's not too bad. I went 5-4. Had a good chance of, like I said, of going like 7-2. A couple of the NBA games got me at the end. Celtics won, but they won by like I think 4 points, 3 or 4 points. The spread was 5. So that was one of them that got me. And then the other NBA, Portland, I had Portland money line over the Pelicans. They ended up losing that game. And then in college, and I lost 2 in college basketball. I was 2-2 in college basketball. Notre Dame ended up beating Pittsburgh, which surprised me. Then Alabama came back and beat Auburn, but they didn't cover the spread. But Ohio State was an underdog. I picked one, and then Kansas State
got way behind.
both. Yeah, they got way behind. They came back and won. I think it went to overtime. They won, but they only won by like 4 or 5. So I made me 2-2 in college basketball, and I was 3-2 in the NBA. Very easily could have been 5-0 in the NBA. So last night, but hey, that happens. Not a bad night. 5-4.
I had a good night. I don't think my mic's on this. I went 7-2. My NBA, I hit 2 of my overs, and my other one, I lost by half point. It was 215.5, and it was 215. So that was close. I was at Philly Miami game. I hit my 3-0 in my NHL, and my college, I lost the Pittsburgh Notre Dame. Pitt got killed by Notre Dame.
Yeah, that surprised me. Only thing is, I should have realized that being that Mike Bray's last home game, because he's retiring after this season. Notre Dame's been terrible this year.
Yeah, they have been.
But this is going to be his last season. He's been there for like 22 years or something. And this was his last home game. So I should have held that a little bit higher than what I did. But I still think Pittsburgh's a better basketball team. But they wasn't last night. Sure wasn't last night. Hey, how's it going, Glenn?
Hey, Glenn, how's it going?
Hey, Glenn, if you have, while I'm thinking about it, because I know myself, I'll get done with the show and mean to message you about it, and I'll get sidetracked on. So while I'm thinking about it, if you have a couple promo pictures, picture or two that you would like me to put on the graphic, any certain picture, send me a couple of them, and so I can, because I'm going to be working on making a graphic about you being on the show next week. So if you have any certain pictures that you would like me to use for the graphic, please message me a couple.
Also, Glenn, big show just kind of announced and all over Facebook and everything. You probably seen it. DCCW is doing a big show in Jay County for Jay County High School, and they're going to have Rikishi and Kurt Angle there. That's on April 8th.
It's actually, well, you can't see the whole flyer, but it's actually this flyer here.
Ouch!
But it's this year's. That's last year's Invasion flyer.
Yep, kind of like that, isn't it?
Looks similar.
Yep, and it's going to be April 8th, and I know front row tickets are $50, 30 for second row, 20 for general admission. Like I said, you have Kurt Angle there, and they'll have meet and greets and all that stuff. And I know Rikishi's going to be there, and they're going to have great talent. I mean, a lot of that talent wrestles at WCW and DCCW.
Oh yeah, it'll be another.
It's going to be I'm telling you, it was going to be a fantastic.
They had it was a great show last year. Yeah. Last year they had the Pope Elijah Burke was the big guy they had. They also had Hollywood Haley J. And Thunder Kitty.
Yep, it's going to be a big show. So
it's in Jay County at the Jay County Community Center, which is on the 115 East Water Street.
So I didn't get to go to that show last year.
No, yeah, you didn't get to go. We were live from there, so if you want to go back and watch last year's Invasion, you can find it on our YouTube page at Gonzo Sports Room. It was a great show last year. Looking forward. They got a nice facility there. If you, I know last year they sold beer and wine. So if you or somebody that partakes in drinking, it'll be. I'm sure they'll have beer and wine available again this year. But it'll be an awesome show. DCCW always puts on a great show.
Fantastic.
Along with a lot of the guys from WCWO, and then But it's a fundraiser, and it's also a fundraiser for Jay County High School Wrestling. And that's what all the proceeds go to Jay County uh, wrestling team. So it's for a great cause as well. So make sure you go, if you're in the area, go check it out. If not, we will be there. You'll be able to watch it live on our YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter channels. And then also April 22nd, they'll be doing another big one. They haven't announced the card yet, but it'll be here in Muncie, Indiana, and it's a fundraiser for Muncie Central High School Wrestling. Last year they had Epico, Primo, and Carlito at that show, and Rikishi made a special appearance there as well.
It'll be Bearcat Rumble 3, I believe. Right?
Yeah, it's Invasion 4 and Bearcat Rumble 3. So this is something they do they've done last 3 or 4 years for these high school wrestling teams, and so like I said, it's a great cause. If you can support those two events, make sure you get there. And then also, real quick, before we get to the day's before we get to today's picks, and I try to knock my damn microphone off the table. March 24th and 25th, DCCW has a big event here in Muncie, Indiana, at the National Guard Armory. 24th is going to be the Indiana Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame night. They'll be inducting people in the Hall of Fame. We'll be live there for that. And then on Saturday, the 25th, they'll be having their 5th year anniversary show. Sure, it'll be a great show. So that's something else that's coming up. Be on the lookout for.
We should have more information on that soon, hopefully.
Yeah, working on getting the ladies' man Mike King on to talk about all the stuff DCCW has coming up. So
yeah, they've got a lot of stuff coming up,
and then also talking about, and then also like to get him back on just to talk wrestling. We had him on before, just talking wrestling, not promoting the show, and it was a great time. So looking forward to that. But we appreciate everybody joining us. Let me check the sound real quick. Just talk wrestling. That's true. That's true, Glenn. If we can get him away from the ladies for a minute, maybe we can get him back on the show. All right. Don says I took Purdue -2 first half and Arizona money line for 500 tonight. He said just leaving the casino. All right. NBA tonight only have 4 games. Not a big slate.
No, yeah, I've seen that.
Not a big slate of games in the NBA. So we'll go through that. We'll go through those. I'm gonna give a pick out for every NBA game tonight since there's only 4. I gave out 5 picks yesterday. The Lakers +4.5 cashed for me yesterday. Hey, that's always good, Don.
Yep.
Always nice when you can cash one of them tickets. And I like it even better when I go to the casino and I actually have a ticket to go up there and cash. Yep. I mean, yeah, it's nice when you do it on your phone. You get to win, and boom, the money will be there within the next day or so, or sometimes even that night. But I don't know, just something about taking that, having that ticket and walking up to the counter to cash it in. I don't know. To me, it always seems means a little more to me than just getting it on your phone. I don't know.
Yep.
I guess it's because when you're at the sports books and it's crowded and everybody sees you walking up there with that ticket. They all, I mean, they know, hey, that guy hit. So yeah, I enjoy. We go when we can. We'll go over to the sports book here, not far from our house, about 30 minutes away or so, and we'll go over there and watch football. Hell, we'll go out there for the 1:00 NFL games and stay out there till right before the Sunday night. Before the Sunday night game, and then head home and watch the Sunday night game at home.
Yeah, we did college football too.
Yep. But NBA tonight, first game, Toronto Raptors at the Washington Wizards. The Raptors are 2-point favorites. They're -132 on the money line. The Wizards are +112 on the money line. Hey, you two, stop it before you guys knock something over. We're not having no avalanches today. Wizards are +112 on the money line. Raptors are -132. Over-unders at 222 in this game. I like the Raptors at the -2. The Raptors are 31-32 on the season. They're 4-1 over their last 5 games. The Wizards are 29-32, 3-2 over their last 5.
What was the over on that?
Over-unders at 222. But I'm going to go with the Raptors at the -2 in this game. I like the Raptors. I like the Raptors defense as well. They play pretty good defense, but I think they're the better team. Then you have the Philadelphia 76ers at the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks are 3-point favorites at home. They're minus 148 on the money line. The 76ers are plus 126 on the money line. Over under is at 229. The Sixers are 40-21 on the season. Excuse me. 3-2 over their last 5 games. The Mavericks are 32-31, 1-4 over their last 5. They have won 1 game since they made the Kyrie Irving trade. Things haven't worked out with that trade so far how they thought. I mean, you knew it was going you knew it was going to take a little bit of time for Luka and Kyrie and that team kind of the mesh, but it hasn't yet, and it hasn't shown a lot of signs of that they're going to start meshing. I think the Mavericks might be in a bad situation because this keeps going like it is. I could see Kyrie not wanting to sign there long term and wanting to leave, and you gave up everything you gave up everything to trade him for basically a rental. So they got to figure that out. But the Mavs have not looked good.
Kyrie wouldn't want to stay somewhere.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. But I'm gonna go with the Sixers tonight at the +3 in this game. Like I said, the Mavs are 1-4 over their last 5. They haven't been playing good basketball. Sixers have been playing good basketball. So I'm going with the Sixers as the underdogs. I'll take them at the +3. Let's see. We got a few comments here. AP says easy to win is MLS. Always bet the under. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch much soccer, so I've never really got into that. But that's something to look into. Major League Soccer. And if Frankie said you must have made his money last night. I don't know if you listened to last night's show, but you got talked about for a little bit.
Did I? Surely not. No, I didn't listen to last.
They asked where you was at. Frankie asked where you was at. I said you was at work, and it turned in that you was working the corner for Frankie and everything else.
Oh Lord, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure Jay didn't jump on that at all, did he?
Well, just a little bit.
Yeah,
we had a good conversation. Put it this way, the show started at 11 and ended about 12:45 or so. Usually go about an hour. We went about an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes last night. And then it was a good show, but yeah, you never know what's going to get talked about, especially get Jay on there and then get Frankie in the comments. Okay, before we move on, Glenn said, I try to get in the Indy 11. Their fan zone is fun as hell. Just soccer is a slow game. I like that fast stuff like basketball, football, racing, wrestling. I know a lot of people love soccer. I know a lot of people love the Indy 11. Well, Eric, my buddy that passed away, he'd go down there to the Indy 11 games. He was a soccer nut. And when he was coming in to help him with the show, he used to give out soccer picks because he knew a lot more about it.
Lynn, do you do any hockey? You ever go down and see the Fuel? I love hockey. Especially live.
All right. Next game is the Indiana Pacers at the San Antonio Spurs. The Pacers are 6.5-point favorites. They are minus 240 on the money line. The Spurs are plus 198 on the money line. Over unders at 237.5. The Pacers are 28-35 on the season, 15-47, or excuse me, 3-2 over their last 5. Son of a bitch. The Spurs are 15-47 on the season, 1-4 over their last 5. I like the Pacers here at the minus 6.5. The minus, I ain't gonna lie, the 6.5 scared me a little bit. I'd rather had it around 4.5.
It was 5.
Yeah, but the Pacers are the better team. I know the Pacers got off to a great start. Was 5th, 6th in the East most of the season. Earlier in the season, had some injuries that really set us back, and we went on a losing streak. We've been playing better basketball since we gotten healthy and everything. Got a big win on the road last game. Look for us to get another big road win tonight. And then, I mean, if we can at least finish 500 on this road trip and then come back home, win some games, we could have a good shot of getting back into the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
Which to me would be a pretty big achievement for this team. Nobody expected this team to be. Uh, Nobody expected this team to be in the playoff hunt, and I think this team was ahead of schedule. And that injury kind of really threw them back some. But I look for the Pacers to get a big win tonight.
Let me ask you something from a standpoint. Does it help you to make, say you make the play-in or you make the playoffs in the 7th or 8th spot or whatever the spot is, or are you better off to finish 11th or 12th and get a higher draft pick?
I think it goes both ways. I think it goes both ways because of this. I think as a team, like for the players that are on the team now, I think it helps if you make the playoffs because from a confidence standpoint, maybe a camaraderie standpoint. And then, but it could also help a little bit not making the playoffs because you could end up with a higher pick. But if you finish 10th or 11th to 7th or 8th, I don't know how big a difference that's really going to make on your draft pick. But I mean, because you got a lot of teams bunched up together too. So I see it both ways. Personally, to me, I'd like to see him make the playoffs because I don't think the pick's going to be that much difference. And I think that helps with some of your culture around the team. Hey, we got this. If we wouldn't have had these injuries, we might have been able. I think that shows some growth with the team.
No, I'm not talking about tanking. I'm just talking about expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, he's asking here, am I talking about tanking? No, I'm not talking about tanking. I'm talking about what we expect. We're not expecting this team to make a deep run in the playoffs. So I'm just saying which would end up being better for them. That's all I'm saying. I'm just you can go out and play as hard as you can play, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm just, I'm looking at it from that standpoint. What nobody, like you said before, nobody expected this team to be where they're at right now, and they should be. If without that injury, I think they'd be in the 5th or 6th spot right now.
Yeah,
if Halliburton don't get hurt, I think they'd be in the 5th or 6th spot right now.
I agree. Glenn said Pacers worry me tonight. Played well all road trip, and they're playing a team that they should win. Yeah, that can always be a little. And then Glenn also said that he don't think it. That he don't think, or no wrong one. That he don't think it matters either way. Like I said, just to me, the only way it matters a lot would be what's that draft pick going to be? If you finish 10th or 11th in the East, where's that going to put you at in the draft?
Anthony was asking about that.
You bet early in the morning when the odds are higher, or you wait to the evening. I think for me, it just depends on like what I'm betting on, and if I think the line's going to, like say like the Pacers, if I was going to go bet on them today, I would have tried to win. Or if I was going to bet on them today, I would have went and bet on them. I'd have bet on them probably in the morning because of the fear of the line getting bigger. Like it's moved in the Pacers, it's moving in the Pacers' direction. So all the money's coming in on the Pacers. So if I was going to bet the Pacers, I'd have wanted to get them earlier so you get them at the better number. Like Dad had said a little bit ago, earlier in the day, the Pacers were at 5. If you could have got the Pacers at 5 instead of 6.5, you're getting them at a lot better number. But saying that, sometimes it works out the other way. If you're watching if you're same game, say you're watching the Pacers and the Spurs, and you're seeing that, and you're on the Pacers, and you're seeing that the line is moving toward the Spurs, then you might want to wait till later in the day to pick the Pacers because you might get that at a better number. So it just Anthony, to answer your question, I think it works both ways, just depending on what game you're betting on. I know, like when we go to the sports books, a lot of times I'll put my picks in. Like if we go there and we're going to watch all the NFL 1:00 games, and we plan on staying and watching the 4:00 games. Well, depending on what games I'm betting on, I might just put in my bets for the 1:00 games when we get there at 11 or whatever time we get there, and then wait till closer to 4:00 to put in what my parlays or whatever I'm going to do for the 4:00 games. Just depending on what I see the lines doing. But if I see the line moving the other way, I might go ahead and do my 4:00 bets early because I think I'm getting a better number. It's all about trying to get that best number. And then Billy says Billy says afternoon. Good afternoon, Billy. Thanks for joining us. How'd you like that wrestling show? I know you didn't get to watch it live, but I did see that you on YouTube that you went back and watched it. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll have another one this Sunday at 4. It'll be live on our YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter channels. Won't be live on Facebook because if we was doing them live on Facebook, but then you got to mute every time they play music, and it just messes up the rhythm of the show some. So we've decided not to go for now, just to do it on YouTube, and I put the matches on Facebook as well. So, but he said he loved it. That's
Good.
awesome to hear. Let's see what this says. Glenn said, "I'm all for playoffs. To be honest, if we was worse off, I'd be all for dropping a lot." And then Billy, 4-team, $40 hockey parlay. Bruins, Rangers, Penguins at +1.5, and then the Kraken
Hey, Glenn, I got a question for you. What
pays $265
Yeah, I
or
seen that.
$256, excuse me, on a $40 bet. So that's a pretty good parlay there.
I'm asking this question to you, Chris, and also to Glenn, because he goes to about all the Pacer games. What do in the offseason, what do the Pacers need to add, in your opinion, to be a contender, a real contender?
I think we need a point forward. I think we need a rebounder, and we need somebody that plays a bigger guy that plays defense.
We got to improve our defense.
I think we need a forward that can play defense and can rebound. A guy like Anunoby, I thought would have fit real well, but Raptors was wanting
a lot for him.
Raptors was wanting too much. I see why the Pacers didn't go with that. Because if you watch the Pacers, they play a small lineup. There's a lot of times they'll have three or four guards on the court with Miles Turner, and that hurts them defensively and hurts them rebounding. And I think that's the two biggest things they got to improve. If they can improve their defense, they're going to be tough to beat because they can score points. We're not the Pacers from 3 or 4 years ago where we could go through lulls and struggle scoring. We can score, but we got to improve our defense and be able to stop people.
You have way too many points.
Glenn says rebounding enforcer. I agree. I agree with that. We need a guy that can rebounding enforcer and a guy that has a little bit of grit. He said like a David West type. That somebody kind of like that. I agree with. I think Anunoby would have been a good guy.
West was a good enforcer. He was a pretty good defensive player, but I think we need even a better defensive player than West.
Well, and he was a pretty good rebounder too.
Yeah, rebounding. I mean, he was a good enforcer and rebounder, but he was a good defensive player. But I think we need a.
Billy said Pacers need a Larry Bird, laughing out loud. Hey, that'd be awesome. And then he said, Gonzo. Yes, I've seen. Yes, I love the Reggie Miller. Well, I'm bigger.
Well, I'm sure he's.
I got Reggie Miller on my shirt right here.
Well, I'm sure he's probably getting ready to have a new one because he's getting ready to be NCAA.
Oh yeah.
So they do a bunch of them. Oh,
I'm a big Reggie Miller fan. Reggie and Peyton. They're the two guys. But Reggie's awesome at them Wendy's commercials. I love like you said, around March Madness, they always come out new ones. I love when he's waking up at Wendy's and I think they're a lot better than the Reggie Bush commercials myself. How bad do you see the Grizzlies struggling without Morant if he does get a suspension? Oh man, they'll struggle. I mean, we seen it last year when he got hurt in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong; they still have a good team. They have a solid team around him, so they'll still be able to compete. But especially going into the playoffs, if he does get suspended, they'll really miss him. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this because I mean this isn't the first time that he's been in some off court stuff this season. So I kind of feel they probably won't suspend them. If they do, they'll be after the season. I think that'll conveniently happen after the playoffs because I don't think the NBA really, for one, they don't want to go. They want all their stars available for the playoffs. Because that's how they make their money, and that's when they get watched the most. So, if he does get suspended, it wouldn't surprise me if it's not till after the season. But I think they need to do something, and not just for the league. I think they need to do something to help to get through Moran's head that he needs to maybe reevaluate who he has in his circle and why he's doing with his time away from the court. Because man, he's a young, and I hate to say it for anybody. He's a young dude, and I hate to see him ruin his career and his chance of making a lot of money and changing keep making money and changing his family generational wealth because of making stupid decisions on who you're hanging out with and what and just doing stupid stuff off the court. Uh, but yeah, it hasn't looked good here lately for him. They had the incident with the Indiana Pacers. Did you see the story where I guess he was beating up a 17-year-old? Guess they were playing a pickup game or something, and then I guess the 17-year-old was talking shit. He ended up hitting him a few times. Then the 17-year-old went to come in the house, and I guess he flashed a gun or something. I get so yeah. So
He knew the 17-year-old. I mean, they.
I'm not 100%
I would
sure on
assume.
that.
I would assume in some capacity. I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
especially flashing a gun or hitting a 17-year-old. But I mean, families do shit. I mean, I'm not condoning anything, but
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how well he knew the kid or what.
And plus in the situation he's in, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, because I mean, you can cost yourself your career doing something stupid. And then last game in the NBA, we have the Los Angeles Clippers at the Golden State Warriors. The Clippers are 3.5-point favorites. They're minus 164 on the money line. The Warriors are plus 138 on the money line. Over unders at 231.5. The Clippers are 53-31 on the season, 2-3 over their last 5. Warriors are 32-30 on the season, 2-3 over their last 5. Steph Curry is still out. Looks like he'll probably return next week, from what I read last night. Clippers have been the better team throughout the season. They're about the same. I said 53-31, 33-31. Damn, I was giving them a lot of fucking credit. I like the Warriors in this game. They're at home. They play better at home. Yes, they don't have Steph, but they still have weapons. Where the Warriors have struggled has been mainly on the road. So I'm gonna take the Warriors at the plus 3.5 here in this game. That's all the NBA games tonight. Like I said, there's only 4 games. My picks for tonight's NBA games: Raptors -2, 76ers +3, Pacers -6.5, and the Warriors at the plus 3.5. So I'm going with 2 underdogs and 2 favorites tonight in the NBA.
Yeah, my parlay for tonight, I got Toronto at Washington over the 222. I got Philadelphia at Dallas over the 229, and I've got Indiana -6.5 at San Antonio. That's my parlay for the NBA. I'll go ahead and do my NHL. I got Buffalo at Boston. I'll take Boston moneyline win. Nashville at Florida. I'll take Florida moneyline win, and I got Montreal at the LA Kings. I'll take the Kings moneyline win.
All right. College basketball. I'm gonna go with Houston at the -16.5 against Wichita State. Houston's ranked number 1 in the country again. I think they're gonna be too much for Wichita State. And there's so many games. It's hard to find.
I think Purdue plays Wisconsin tonight, don't they?
I think so.
At Wisconsin. So I think Purdue is like a 4 or 5 point favorite. And Wisconsin, they liable to upset them.
And Purdue's been up and down here lately. They haven't been playing as consistent.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin don't beat them tonight.
Oh man, yeah, you got Purdue as a 4.5 point favorite at Wisconsin. In that game, UCLA is 11.5. They're number 4. They're 11.5 point favorite over Arizona State. I kind of like UCLA in that game, but Arizona State worries me a little bit because they just upset Arizona over the weekend to kind of put Arizona out of the NCAA tournament. So 11.5 points is a lot. To me, is a lot of points in that game. Is there any other big games tonight? You got Arizona, who's number 8 at USC. Arizona's the 2.5 point favorite. I'm gonna take Arizona at the minus 2.5 over USC. So I got 2 college basketball games. I'm gonna go with Houston at the minus 16.5 against Wichita State at home, and then Arizona at the minus 2.5 on the road against USC. Them are gonna be the 2 college games I'm gonna go with for tonight.
I've got a college basketball parlay for tonight. I got Southeast Missouri State money line win at Tennessee State. I got Florida Atlantic minus 8.5 at Rice, and I got Alcorn State minus 5.5 at Mississippi Valley State.
And you have Michigan and Illinois. That should be a good game as well. I'm trying to remember where it's at. That's I'll tell you what, these Big Ten games, man, they've been a lot of good close games.
They're tough to.
They're at Illinois. Illinois is a 4.5 point favorite at home. That's a tough game there because I can see Michigan beating them, but at home Illinois are tough as well. So that should be a good game. But I'm gonna stick with the two picks I have. Excuse me, for college. All right. Damien says, anyone betting on AB Arena football team? No. When you guys bet your parlays, how much do you put down? It just depends. Sometimes I do $10. I'll put like $10 and you'll win around $100 or so. And then sometimes I'll do 20. A lot of it just depends on one, what kind of money I have at the time, and then two, just how confident I am in the parlay as well. But a lot of times somewhere between 10, 20. Sometimes I've done, I think 40 on one before.
And we've done stuff where we went in together and did like a 7 or 10 team parlay and put our money together and stuff like that. But we're not big money gamblers as far as big money goes.
Yeah, no, I don't have that big money to be losing, Billy. It's probably a good thing because if I did have the big money, because if I did have big money, who knows? I might be like my buddy and be putting fucking $1,500 on a game. I got a friend that he's real big into sports gambling, and we'll see him at the sports book, and he'll be putting $1,000 to $2,000, and he's on a half. I mean, it's not even the parlays. He'll do just like the first half of a game or a whole game, or second half of the game. And I've seen the dude lose $1,500 and go back and put down another $1,500 to try and win his money back.
And he's got a buddy. He was telling us about. He's got a buddy that bets $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a half, or a game. So
I don't have that kind of money to be. And then all right, before we get out of here, well, Damien has another question. Let's see which pay-per-view do y'all think will have a better card, AEW Revolution or WrestleMania?
Revolution is the one that's this Sunday, right?
I'm not sure. You're the AEW guy?
No, I'm not. For me, it's going to be WrestleMania. For other people, it may be Revolution. It just depends what you like. For the AEW fans, that want to see 10 referees hold a ladder. And they're the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I know you were mad last night. I was in here. I forget what I was watching. All of a sudden, I heard Dad say, 3 fucking referees holding the ladder. What the hell we doing, guys? Yeah. And I'm in here just cracking up.
Well, watch the women's match where they wasn't hitting each other. I mean, there was no hitting at all. And then after watching NXT the night before, watched 3 or 4 great women's matches. I'm like, what are we doing?
And then,
but there'll be some good matches. I'm sure that Bryan Danielson and MJF, the 1 hour match will be good. I'm interested to see MJF in an hour match and see what they're going to do there. Yeah. There's going to be some good. I thought they were doing. It didn't make any sense to me. They had, of course, he'd been hurt. Christian Cage. He came back and he bringing back that feud with Jungle Boy. Well, then they go to a clip of Jungle Boy digging a grave, and I thought the way they were talking, he was going to do a buried alive match. I said, Jungle Boy, and that don't make any sense. But I guess now it's not a buried alive match. It's going to be no holds barred.
No, honestly, Damien, personally, I think WrestleMania. If I'm home, I'll probably watch AEW Revolution.
That's Sunday night.
I don't watch it. I don't watch AEW every week.
I do.
Dad does. I don't. I used to when it first started. I used to watch it more. At first, I thought they were moving in the right direction. But since then, just their style isn't really my. It's really not for me, so I don't watch it as much now. I do watch the pay-per-views. I'm sure it'll be a pretty good pay-per-view because I've watched most of their pay-per-views, and there's only been one or two that I thought was just bad.
Yeah.
But personally, I think WrestleMania this year is going to be real good. I really do. So I would have to say WrestleMania. But if somebody wants to tell me that they're more excited for AEW, hey, I'm not going to bash you for it because hey, that's the great thing about like we were talking about yesterday with Justin Danger. That's a great thing about pro wrestling. I think we talked about Damian Cole as well.
Yep. Is
there's something for everyone. You can have comedic wrestling. You can have the high flying stuff. You can have the storytelling. There's so many different things, and everybody gets drawn in by different things. So
I think
Billy says that's crazy. Talking about Josh. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I don't have that kind of money, and if I did have that kind of money, I don't have that kind of money to lose.
Oh, and plus he'll be at the casino and they'll help anything. He's there 5 or 6 drinks in, and he's lost 1,000 on the first half, so he's throwing another 1,000 second half to get his money back. Which I will give him credit. Most of the time, if he's lost 1,000 on the first half, he'll get it back somehow.
I'm gonna say most time we've seen him out there, he's left at least even. Most of the time.
One time I seen him.
He lost about $3,000.
Yeah, that one time, but
that happens sometimes when you're.
I agree with you. I really don't.
I'm not big on the Brock and Omos. I was hoping it was going to be Brock and Gunther.
They wanted. They asked him to do Brock and Bray and put Bray over, and he didn't want to do it. So I guess he's going to put Omos over. I would assume. I mean, what's good are going to do for Brock to beat on? I would say Brock's there now to put people over. That's my opinion. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they're going with it.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with that. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair match. Of course, you're going to have Roman and Cody.
I'm excited.
And then whatever they decide, what ends up happening with the Usos and
Asuka and
Asuka and Belair. I think it's going to be real good. So I think you got two real good women matches, and you got Cody and Roman. You're going to have
Paul and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth Rollins.
That's going to be. I guarantee it's going to be killer. And I read something yesterday. If you've noticed, Sammy's been coming out with in the hoodie. Yeah. So is Kevin Owens. Guess who else has been coming out in the hoodie every time it comes out lately?
Jay
Uso. Could that be the new connection after WrestleMania? Them three against the Bloodline. They could be heading that way. So there's definitely something brewing.
Well, the way they set it up, they made it look like it could be Jay and Sammy versus Jimmy and what's his Solo, and then then you know what I mean, and you got Owens in there, so it's going to be. He says he thinks Brock's Week's match was Vince's idea.
Maybe that's been a rumor, but then I've seen that they said that he's not involved. So who knows? Who knows for sure? But another big one would be Gunther, and they're talking Gunther against Drew, and maybe even possibly Sheamus into that. So that'll be
that'd be a good hard hitting. But we appreciate everybody watching. My picks for today: Raptors -2, 76ers +3, Pacers -6.5, Warriors +3.5. In college basketball, Houston -16.5 and Arizona -2.5. Don't forget, check out the ASAP Network mobile app. You can find it at the Google Play Store on Android devices, on Roku, and then also on Amazon. It'll be available on Apple devices here real soon. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Also, like and follow on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. That's where we post all the information about upcoming shows and do the same thing for the All Sports All Plays Network. We have an interview with pro wrestler Nick Diamond at 6:30 p.m. Eastern this evening. So join us here in just a couple hours for that. And then we'll be back tomorrow at 1 or at 3 p.m. Eastern with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Also, if you missed our interviews from yesterday with Justin Danger or Tuesday with Damian Michael Cole, go check those out on our YouTube page or our Facebook page at Gonzo Sports Room. Both of them were great conversations. You're not going to be disappointed. And then this Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back with some live pro wrestling as we'll be at Summit Pro Retribution. Main event, you have Alice Crowley, who's been on AEW Dark, been on OVW, taking on one of the best in the Midwest, and Jeremy Hadley, in a good housekeeping match,
kind of hardcore.
So
match,
I'm sure it's going to be a great main event. Both of them are great in the ring and are entertaining. So, and then they got a lot of other good matches on there. They got a great card set up for this Sunday. If you're in the Greenfield, Indiana area, go check it out. It's at the fairgrounds there in Greenfield, Indiana. 3 p.m. Eastern, doors open. 4 p.m. Eastern, bell time this Sunday. So come join us for that. And then, like I said, March and April we got a lot of shows coming up. It's going to be busy next 2 or 3 months.
Hopefully, next couple of weeks we'll have a huge announcement for everybody.
So, but we appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and to All Sports All Plays Network. That really helps us out. Like and follow on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. That helps us out as well. But we'll see everybody tomorrow, right around 3 p.m. Eastern, with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Hope everybody has a great Thursday. See you tomorrow.